All right, folks, we are back with another edition of the Red and White Podcast. Shortest intro ever, raw reaction. We are here. I just got back from the game. It's late as F. I'm going to have to take one of my living relief gummies to get to sleep tonight because I'm so amped up. Yeah. Will, how you feeling right now?
I'm feeling good, Evan. You know what I got? Yeah, here, hold on. I'm going to be right back. Just hold on 1 second.
Oh, man, here we go. We just did a Twitter Spaces.
Evan, I think we need to light it red. Oh, this is audio format, but you guys can't see it. But I am wearing the light it red NC State helmet. I got the brick. I got the wolf. It's all good, boys. I got this. It arrived today. I thought it was a sign. It came way earlier than expected. Big win. I'm thinking I should just wear it tomorrow from 12 o'clock till like 3:30.
Yes,
have to.
Dude, that's awesome. I almost tried to swipe one on the sidelines today. I got down there in the fourth quarter. And there's no coincidence. I got down there in the fourth quarter. And we made a miraculous comeback. So I'm expecting the podcast sideline passes for 2022. I'll just go ahead and wait by the mailbox. So whenever y'all want to send them over, please do.
Evan, we are 2 for 2. I go on field, we win at Clemson. You go on field, we win against UNC. I think it's a sign.
I mean, it's right. They got to learn. They got to learn. I should have told that to the old back club guy.
Oh,
man, that was insane, man. I really, I know everybody else felt the same way with, Carolina scored late there, kicked out the 50-yard field goal. I'm not sure how much time was left, and you just felt like, all right, there it is, 9 points, 2 minutes left. Man, that just felt like the dagger. And we don't always feel like, or at least to me, I feel like we're usually the team that gets those games sniped from, and we're not the sniper. That was an analogy I was thinking of on the way back. Like, it doesn't feel like we are often in that position to take the game away like we've had it taken away from us before.
Yeah.
And God, that feels good. And it feels so much better that it's Carolina, right?
Yeah. I mean, kudos to Dave Doran for saying, hey, if that onside kick at Wake had happened at home, we probably would have got it, right? And he got his opportunity. He called his shot. They put it right in the middle of the field where all the cameras are pointed, played it safe. And, man, just what an insane turn of events. Like, it should not be understated ever again. That was bonkers. The probability for that outcome was, like, it's got to be hundreds of thousands to one. Like, it's just not often that you can pull that sequence of events like that. And, we'll probably talk about it more, but one of the things, I don't know if I said it on the pod this week or not, but one of the things that UNC struggled with all year was getting adjusted to, like, quick tempo. And, if it would have been me, we did this against Clemson, I would have done that little, I call it a sugar pop huddle, where you huddle, you break out of it real fast and snap the ball within a couple seconds, and you get them discombobulated. The second play, we went to tempo. You busted Emeka Emezi wide open because their DBs lost communication with each other. Like, that could have probably been there all game. And it's one of the things that I'm sure we'll cover it later. I don't want to, like, harp on coaching too much right now, but
right.
It's decision-making like that where I feel like sometimes we are losing the opportunity to gain an edge. Your defense is playing super well. Why not pop them with tempo real fast and see if you can catch one? I'd rather do that than all the trick play nonsense. I mean, I know it's senior night. I really didn't like that play call with Thayer Thomas throwing the ball when we were moving the ball easily down the field. Just some stuff like that kind of, I think, put us in a tough bind. But, man, I'm glad we don't have to deep dive how we fucked that up.
I know, man. I know, sitting on the sidelines there, just feeling and seeing the stadium, just like the life get sucked out of when that 50-yard field goal went in.
Damn, that looked like it was going to doink too.
Yeah. And the refs weren't even sure It looked like when it went through, they were like pausing, looking at each other. Yeah.
The UNC ball boy who was behind the goal line, sure as shit, let everyone know. That guy was dancing with joy, and I kept sitting there thinking, like, where's Scotty McCreery? What?
Yeah. There was a ball boy in front of me, and every time the ref threw a flag, he was like, "That's," he's making some motion, and like they threw a PI flag, and he's like, "It's over his head." He's making that motion. Gosh. Yeah, and then I'm getting texts. I'm on a sideline. I'm getting texts from Carolina friends who didn't say a word all week coming up to this game, and then they're winning, and they're like sending messages and gloating and whatnot, and then as soon as we start coming back, as soon as we get back into this game, they're like, "Oh, the refs are taking it from us."
Oh my gosh!
Like just classic, classic Carolina fans.
There was a huge run that they had. I think it was a Brooks run, and a dude like just straight up like tackled. I mean, it wasn't like a pancake. It was just like a straight up hold tackle that sprung him free, and it didn't get called. I mean, it was just kind of questionable all game. But it evened up at the end. I'd be curious to go back and look at the total number of penalties because I'm guessing it's probably spot on at the end. But here's the thing, right? Like, you knew going into the game that their secondary was known for getting pass interferences if you challenged them vertically at all. I was flabbergasted that we were not just arm punting it down the field and seeing if you could pick up cheap 15-yard plays. And they just kept settling over and over for these 5-yard and 6 and 7, 8-yard routes. And a couple of them sprung free and they worked. Thomas got a touchdown from one. Yeah, that's great. But, man, they had a lot of drive-killing play calls. And maybe that was Devin checking down. I have no idea. You were there. I couldn't see the field. So maybe they had guys bracketed up. But
I'll tell you what. It's so hard at this point to – I can't really say much about play calling until I watch this game back, but the offensive line was atrocious, and Devin didn't have a lot of time to even get to his check down a couple times. I mean, Carolina's defensive line just whipped us up front, and that was not good. And I think that impacts so much of the offense and the flow and all of those things. Which is funny, early in the game we were running the ball, we were moving it okay, and I feel like we got up 14 and kind of my headset's gonna die.
Yeah, you're good. I'll vamp for a second if you're gonna try to plug it in. So one of the things I kind of noticed from the D line, I mean, if you know anything about Jay Bateman, he tries to come at you from unpredictable areas. So his whole thing is basically make you have to guess and choose where that blitz is coming from. Sometimes it's exactly what you think, sometimes not. Just felt like this evening, at least, man, our guys were just calling it out wrong. They seemed to just guess wrong each time, and Bateman's blitzes were just coming from the angle that you just hope that they don't come from. And there were several times where Ricky Person, in particular, was sitting there having to decide between two guys which one he wanted to try to hit to give Leary a second. And the good thing is like Leary ate those and I don't think Leary fumbled any of them. I mean, I don't know, man. Is this game just wildly different if that second blocked punt doesn't result in a 30-yard gain for UNC and we get it on I don't even know where they were, 15, 20-yard line?
Yes, absolutely. It absolutely does. I think my headset changed as well as my mic. So
you're good. I hear you.
Okay. If I sound different, that's what it is. But yeah, it's that I don't even know how that worked out. How did we block a kick? It bounces forward and they pick it up and run it for a first down.
It's because where it bounced to, I think if it doesn't pass the line of scrimmage, they're allowed to actually proceed. Like a punter could, in theory, like punt it to himself and then run with it. Yeah. Which trick play gurus, like I want to see that happen. But yeah, that was just like a little sequence where you're like, okay, it didn't result in anything at the time, but when you go back and think about it, like, well, okay, wow, if we score there, I think we're up 21 nothing or maybe 21-3 at that point, and that would have probably ended it because I think UNC early on was looking for a reason to bail, and we kept them around. We played that low scoring game. It was I tweeted it during the game. It was like the quintessential Dave Doran game. Defense is playing out of its mind. Offense can't separate. They decide to play it safe instead of pushing vertically and riding the defense. And I mean, it should have bit them. It should. We should be talking about an 8-4 season right now instead of a 9-3. And who knows what happens tomorrow? But
here's the stat somebody just put in the chat. Teams were 0-451 this season when trailing by 9 or more points in the final 2.5 minutes of the fourth quarter. They're now 1-451. Good job, Pack Football. That's an unreal stat. That's how little of a chance I think everybody rightfully thought we had, which is insane.
I mean, you were talking about it earlier, right? The only thing that's even close that I can even think of in my lifetime that was similar to this is just all the times in basketball where you see a team up, I don't know, 10, 12, 14 at the end of the game, right? And the other team starts fouling them and trying to just create possible possessions. And I thought that's what we were going to try to do. I thought we were going to go real fast tempo and just try to just jack an extra possession out of the last, 8 minutes when we first got the ball back. But we didn't do that. But that's the only thing I can even equate it to, and it actually working. Like the St. Louis game, right? Where they just kept fouling our guys and we couldn't make free throws, and they ended up winning that NCAA game against us. That's what this felt like from a football perspective.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm still kind of in awe. I'm still. I'll tell you what, being down on the field, those guys are huge. I mean,
yes,
I'm not small, and those guys are huge. It's Trent Gill standing next to me. I'm like, this guy's a monster. He's a punter. Those guys are big. They're fast. Everything looks different down the field, and it was awesome experience. I told the Wolfpack Club guy that they need to do more stuff like that. It's really cool. I think more people should have that experience.
Yeah, I think I'm sure the concern somewhat, right, is you need some quality control to it probably, but yeah, I mean, I will never forget being on field for the Clemson, just for them coming out of the tunnel, man. That'll live on for life. I'll never forget that, especially the win. It's really awesome when you get to be there for special moments. And I assume people didn't storm the field, did they?
Oh yeah.
See, no one knows because Evan, you're not aware of this, but they're saying in the last seconds as the game was waning, they're like, oh, hold on guys, we'll cut away to the basketball game in a second. And I was like, boy, there's never been a more UNC phrase than that in this kind of moment. And then they cut away at the second the game ends. They cut away, and it's Duke basketball. And I was like, oh, double whammy for the UNC fans that are having to watch this. So,
oh yeah, it was. We're on the sidelines, and they didn't. I don't think they expected it because we're standing there, and the guy says to me, "He's like, I didn't think they were gonna let him do that." But we turned around, and just a mob of students coming over the wall. They were not expecting that to happen. But yeah, everybody was on the field. It was wild.
Good for them, man. The students, I never heard. Did anyone get in trouble for the Clemson field rush?
I don't know.
That would be the dumbest thing. Sometimes you just gotta let it happen. I know the policy. I know why they want it, especially because of that drop from over the onto the field. But oh man, sometimes you just gotta let college happen. But
here's Dave Doran's response to Tim Beck on whether or not they should run it out when they were close enough for a field goal. No, Devin's hot. Let's go score. How about that quote? Put that on. Dave Doran needs to put that on a billboard somewhere. He gets a lot of grief from me and you included, but that's the mentality you want. I wanted that all game, but Like, that's the mentality you want. Like, go do it, man. Don't put it in the hands of the kicker. Just end it. You know, they gave him too much time, but that's a different story for another day.
There was a 1% chance, like in the back of my head, where I was like, they're gonna do something crazy. They're gonna do like a triple reverse pass play here instead of just make that typical pass to Messi, and then they threw it, and I was like, thank fucking God. Oh man, what a. I tell you what, man, Leary breaking the record with that throw. That kid has got like ice in his veins, and if I don't know what any pro team would have to see any more than that. Like, this dude has just made clutch last minute plays going into halftime and ending fourth quarters. Like, this has got to be his like fourth or fifth one that I can think of just off the top of my head. And you know, that dude's gonna play on Sundays. Maybe he'll go this year. Maybe it'll be next. But that kid's the real deal.
How could you watch that game and think a guy like Tim Boyle is who you want as your backup quarterback, right? I mean, I don't know, man. I just would love to see what he would do if he had an offensive line that could keep him upright for a whole game. I mean, what would the offense really look like? He tried to force some throws today, and I wonder if that's the pressure was getting to him. He made a couple decisions like, man, he probably shouldn't have thrown those, but.
I mean, he was trying to get his guys to make a play too. Like,
yeah,
like Devin Carter came in clutch by getting a pass interference call when we needed it. But there were a few times where, man, he just did not look like on the little bit of TV copy where we get to see it after a play. Like, just didn't seem like he was giving it 100 out there at times. And you know, the thing is, it's just, man, we said it a few weeks back. Like, and I do not mean this in a derogatory way whatsoever, but our wide receivers are a bunch of jag pluses, to use the cover 3 verbiage. Like, as far as being able to break away and be game breakers, as far as getting over the top and things like that. They need mishaps in the coverage and things like that to make massive plays. That's why they're always making jump ball. Like, there's very little yardage after the catch with Devin and with Emeka. And you know, that being said, right, Emeka is extremely good in clutch, and he does his role perfectly. But this was one of those games, man, I just could not stop thinking how Anthony Smith can go over the top of these guys and make life easier. And I don't understand why we were content with trying to get 5-yard, 6-yard passes and checkdowns like crazy. Like, it worked out, but my God, like, here's the thing, man. UNC, we said it this week in the podcast. They've got a lot of athletes on that team. They were running our guys down from behind a lot. And, you know, in a year or two, that UNC defense is going to be really fucking good if they stick around. Because there's a lot of talent out there. And, you know.
I need to go back and watch that final touchdown for Messi. And, you know, from the camera view and see how the hell he got open, because all I remember is looking up and like, oh my God, he's like 5 yards behind the guy. And as soon as I said it, Dexter Carter runs right in front of me and he's 5 yards behind the guy. I'm like, this never happens. Like, usually throwing jump balls and both those guys were wide open.
It's because
they must have played a run or something.
They went tempo, and the safeties, they had miscommunication. They both thought one was covered. Like, I think the DBs thought the safeties had them covered. I mean, he was just wide open. And, like, that's the thing is, like, the announcer, I think Roddy, whatever his name is, he was saying, like, man, this has been the bane of their existence this year. It's like at some point the UNC DBs lose communication with each other and think someone's covering them. Happened in the Wake Forest game a couple times too. Like, their communication is really poor. If they don't, Gemmel is the only one that keeps that team even somewhat together. And that's why I was saying, like, if we had done tempo more throughout the night, that stuff would have happened multiple times. And you know, that's, you know, if we get lucky and we get to face Pitt, you know, that's a completely different defense. And, like, Devin can shred that defense up if they allow him. But, you know, I mean, we'll see. I don't know. Are you going to watch this? Are you going to tune in at 12? Are you going to tune in at, like, 2 o'clock? Like, how are you going to handle the stress of tomorrow?
I know. I'm trying to plan out my day as I'm driving to my in-laws. My wife and kids are down there, so I'm trying to plan my day as what do I do? And I hadn't made a decision yet, so I either get up early and try to leave by 10, so I get there at 11:30, 12ish, right when it kicks off, or just I don't know, watch the end or listen to the radio. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna get up early so I can go and watch it because I got to. I mean,
I think I'm just gonna wear this helmet I'm gonna drink my coffee out of this helmet tomorrow.
You freaking better, yeah.
Oh man, I hope certain people are around at what is it called? Is it Meet the Wolfpack, or what is the thing where you can do the signings?
Meet the Pack Day.
Yeah, Meet the Pack Day. Yeah, I'll definitely be driving down this year, and I'm just gonna plop this helmet down, probably in front of every defensive player that's out there, and just be like, I just need everyone's signature, just muddy this thing up. But man, what a day.
Yeah. Somebody in the pod chat just made a good comment. It said, Howell's last collegiate throw will be a pick at Carter Finley. I'm like, that's amazing. That's a great one.
Look, I'm not gonna...
He'll probably set out the ball, but that's amazing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I just need us to bat this ball down. And when it was like ping-ponging its way around in there, I was like, this is gonna be brutal. This is gonna be a nut punch. And Wahida had just walked downstairs from she had woken up from her sleep because I was screaming, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God," when we scored. And she was just like, "Is the game over?" I was like, "Yes, it is. Thank fucking God." Well,
I don't know. I'm watching SportsCenter just tweeted out the last minute and a half of this game. I still don't know how Emeka catches this ball. Like, whoever's guarding him, I can't see, had a hand on it, bounces in the air, and the concentration for him to pull that in and stay in bounds.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Holy cow.
It's either Duck or Grimes, I think.
Yeah. I patted him on the shoulder when he came back by. It's like, yeah, good job, Mecca.
Oh, my gosh.
He
was probably like, you must be a huge donor to be down here right now.
That's right. Yeah, that was, I don't know, man, that was awesome. I'll watch it back, and we'll have a real podcast later in the week. But I hope everybody enjoys it. It couldn't happen to a better opponent. I'm just awesome to finally snipe one like that from Carolina when I just thought it was over. Like I said on the Twitter space we did earlier, I have nothing but respect for Sam Howell. He's the best QB that Carolina's ever had, and my man played hard. He's hard to bring down. He's clearly hurt, and he still played that entire game. Took some good shots. Like, he's good. He's good, man. That's much respect to that guy.
Yeah, it's funny, man. Like, UNC's been known for years for having, they look good walking off the bus, but then they're soft as tissue, man. And it's just ironic that they had like a true, just elite, like stud guy come through, and all they could get out of him was 7, 8, and maybe 7 wins.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's pathetic, and it's not going to change the way things go on the recruiting trail, but it should, and credit to Ryan Williams for saying, "Can someone tell me Mac's record in the last 3 years? I just want to see how back he is right now."
That's awesome. That's a great comment. So Devin Leary is now NC State's single season passing TD record holder, past Phillip Rivers with that Mezzi catch. I mean, that's pretty phenomenal considering my man has played one full season.
Right?
I mean, holy pow, just unreal.
I mean, look, sky's the effing limit right now, and we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah.
But the amount of people coming back right now, if everyone wants to take like one more run, Clemson will be better next year, man. You can't bank on these injuries. So, I mean, it could be the same old crap where it's us and Clemson really deciding this thing. But, I just wish they let him cook more. I wish they had let him do it at Mississippi State, in Miami, and Wake. I wish 10% more in those games could have been difference makers. And we could have been talking about an insanely special season. But the guy's got 9 wins. It's awesome. I think Dave is the first coach to get 3 9-win seasons at NC State. I think is what IPS tweeted earlier.
Wow.
It seems like he's got the shit stabilized, and it's maddening because now you can sense how close we are to taking a special run, and let's just hope that when Dave said the curse is broken, that it really is. And I hope Sam Hartman and the Deacons just crap the bed tomorrow and just something special happens for us. But this team didn't give up. I certainly did. I was tweeting how much I thought Dave was a great guy and a great representative and does everything the right way, but it was time to make a change. And then 3 minutes later, we won the fucking game. And it's just that's just where you are as a fan. If you really care, if you really are invested in this stuff, and not just hey, everything's great and I'm happy with 8-4 and I can find the sunshine wherever I need to find it. Like, there's a lot of people who want a lot more for this program, and maybe this is the kind of win that just gets you over the hump, man.
And that's kind of what I tweeted after the game. That was my first thought. It's like, it feels like the tides are turning when you were able to get one of those games. And, that's essentially our second team defense that played today. We are down so many guys after Baker Williams gets hurt, Savion's not playing, and like, our second team defense played pretty damn well. I mean, I know they gave up some points and Sam Howell made some plays, whatever, but when it mattered, they bowed up. And that says a lot to me. It feels different, man. It feels different for once. It's good. It doesn't feel as fluky as it was. It doesn't feel fluky, right? I'd love to see the post-game win expectancy after all that. See what it says, what the numbers tell us about that game.
It's wild. It's wild to think that we could have had 4 of those this year. Clemson, UNC, could have had it at Miami, could have had it at Wake. Like, it does say something about the team. It's just, damn, you just wish we didn't put ourselves in this situation 4 times in a single season. But it's good to see 2 for 2. All other 8 years for Doran, it's basically been 0 for 32. So.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, you're good, man. I don't know, man. I'm pretty tired. You're probably pretty tired. And who knows if the sound quality is any good now that we're on our 3rd set of headphones for this podcast. So, I don't know. We can certainly circle back tomorrow if we need to. I'm sure there could be an emergency pod situation if around 3:15, 3:30, if we get really lucky and Dracovic just is not one of the people with flu and runs all over Wake. That's
yeah, let's do that. Everybody, just enjoy this one, man. We can nitpick it later, but just enjoy it, man. Just enjoy it going into the weekend. It was awesome. It's an awesome win. Team's 9-3. Beat up, but they, held together. I'm happy. I hope everybody's happy, man, because that's why we invest so much emotionally into this, into these games and whatnot, is for that, right? And just being a part of that celebration, being a part of that moment, and yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy it, man. I'm gonna sleep well. I'm gonna have a good weekend. No matter what BC does or doesn't do. But, yeah, it's awesome. So, hope everybody enjoys it.
Yeah. If they ever make a trophy for this game like they've been talking about, I know Dave's been talking about with Mac, They should call it like the Howell Leary Cup or something like that, because that's like the game that should spark it. Be like, we got to have something to celebrate this batshit crazy rivalry. And
yeah, I agree. I'd say like a pig cooker, but that wouldn't. Carolina doesn't know anything about that.
Or just we have like a pork and wine, a pork and cheese. There's ways around this. We can. Someone wins a Bojangles tailgate platter.
Somebody listening, come up with a better idea than that, because that's a terrible idea.
Well, I thought the Howell Leary Cup was great, but here I am.
All right, folks, y'all have a good night. Thanks always for listening. Enjoy it. Go Pack.
Go Pack.
Hold on, I got to play the clip. Where is it? This is what Dave Dorn has said.
You want me to put my helmet on and do it?
Years to do that, but we did. We are the best team in this league.
That's right, Dave. Tell him. That's it. Y'all have a good one.
I was raised by